What's up, I'm gorgeous and beautiful gamers. Welcome back to Role-Playing Games. This is Mariel Khan. I date and never like to discuss about RPGs, like the content, like to be super appreciated. And also you today, you're a gorgeous and beautiful person. You're indeed a gorgeous and beautiful person. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to mop the floor with this guy, which is really not that difficult. And I am planning several videos to do about this guy, so it is in your best interest to learn the patterns of this guy, which are very interesting. It is a very annoying beginning tutorial boss fight. But that being said, let's dive right into the basics first. There are some things that you need to have in mind. Again, let's touch base on basics. You use your B or circle in PlayStation to deflect. So long as you are deflecting on the right moment, you should be okay. Now, your spirit bar, which is very important that you understand it, so that you can actually use it properly instead of not using it at all. So basically you have your block attack, your block button, right? You have your block button, and no one is going to ever pierce that thing, because there is no such thing in stamina in here. There is that little meter that you see down there. We're going to do a separate video on that thing, but basically what you need to know is that when you receive damage, it's going to deplete up to the moment where you're going to get stunned. You're going to get your guard broken. The same thing applies for the enemies. And also for you to have a little bit, once that little blue spirit bar is blue, that means that you have more space. It doesn't really change that much. Just when it's orange, it means that they are going to break at some point. And when it's blue, then that means that you are quite safe. So long as you have your spirit gauge completely fine and you're using it properly, then you shouldn't have any kind of issues, alright? Now, that being said, let's talk about the attacks that you should be watching your eye out for. So, in the very first beginning of the fight, you're going to just endlessly spam square or X for Xbox, and triangle or Y for Xbox. And that is what you're going to do on the very first phase of the fight, because this guy, it's always going to get stunned. He doesn't have any poise, at least on the first phase of the fight, right? So you just want to keep in his face. You will notice that sometimes I will get the counter for the deflect. Whenever an enemy is red, you're going to get a massive counter, although if you miss it, you're going to get smacked in the face, but you need to master it. This is where you're going to start mastering this mechanic, because you need to master it for the entirety of the rest of the game, alright? That being said, it is very important that you stop attacking as soon as you see him glow red. You stop attacking. This little final attack that I have for you, this is one of the ones that I have seen that it's easy to deflect. Normally, I told you before about the spirit gauge because I do not believe that it's worth it to basically deflect every single thing in this game. For the basic attacks, things that are not going to deal that much damage to you, you're better off blocking. Do not take the risk, alright? There's health that you have in mind, that you have at your stake, so no, do not deflect every single thing in the game. For all of the rest of the attacks, you can, if you do not feel comfortable about it, then use block them. And as a matter of fact, that's going to be a very important portion of the video, next portion of the video. But for now, when you see him jumping, that is an attack that I see predictable, that I know that I can time properly, that I know that I cannot confound with anything else, because it's very flashy and I know what he's going to do. So that is my recommendation for the deflect. Everything else, just block it for the first phase. So again, recap: first phase, attack, endlessly, square, and then triangle. The triangle is going to close the distance, not allowing him room to breathe. So again, when he jumps in there, you're able to do a deflect, and when he goes red, you do the counter. It's very important that you always do the counter. And also, once you have managed to break his guard, press triangle or Y to do that big punish. Now this is the tricky part. In here, what you're going to do is just, at least what I did, which is, he's very annoying, because at this point, you're not going to be able to poise, stun lock him. You're not going to be able to stun lock him anymore, because he has poise, and his poise is infinite in this phase. All right. So what you want to do is a stamina battle. A stamina battle, of course. Learn the attacks that you can actually watch out for. Also, the red attacks on this phase, they're very predictable and they have huge windows for you to counterattack. So yes, by all means, my advice on this phase is wait for the deflects. Always, 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 always. We're not going to be doing anything else in here other than waiting for the deflects. Now, there are some attacks that I do recommend in this fight that you should be deflecting them, but you should be deflecting basic attacks in this portion of the fight just to have enough spirit gauge for you to be able to block everything else, because honestly, as you can see me here, I'm being very passive because this guy, it is very annoying indeed. So what you want to do is just block everything else. Block everything else, do not take the risk, he's going to hit like a truck. So block everything else, and when you see this one, this specific attack that I'm showing you on the frame right now, this is very predictable. This is something that you cannot confound with anything else. And since you cannot get confused with this attack, it is a very good idea to get that extra meter for your spirit gauge, and this one you can most definitely deflect it by dodging. Do have in mind that if you not deflect this attack, you're going to get chip damage, because that's an elemental attack, that's not a physical attack, and you're going to get chip damage to your block. Alright, so that is my advice for you to block it. This one, when he plunges against you, this is also very predictable. So this is an attack that I advise you also to just deflect. It's very easy. The frames for these attacks, they are very easy. The thing that what I do not want to deflect the rest of the attacks is because he delays them. And when he delays, my mind breaks a little bit. And I'm like panic dodging. I do not believe it's worth it. Just everything else, just block it. And these two specific attacks that I show you, those are the ones that you are actually going to be deflecting. And then finally, the red ones. Again, like I said, you're always going to be deflecting those. As a matter of fact, you're going to be fishing for those on this phase. It really is not worth it. It's not enough damage that you're going to be dealing with him with basic attacks. You should be doing basic attacks now and then, just enough to keep your spirit gauge filled up, just enough. But do not be greedy with the light attacks on this phase. In this phase, what you want to do is fish for those deflects, the red deflects. They are very, very easy to see. They are going to basically one-shot his guard break almost every time. So yeah. Anyways, like the content, like the video, find the video informative, a like in the video, super appreciated. Comment as well, what do you think about Wulong? Are you having fun in this game? We will be covering this game, so yeah, consider subscribing. I'll see you goddamn gorgeous and beautiful people in the next one. Have a beautiful day and goodbye.